Horrible, embarrassing, even scary. Those are the words used to describe a county-funded soccer complex on the south side. Eyewitness News reporter Sue Calberg went looking into what's being done to make sure everyone has a safe place to play.
It is not. It just ain't working.
Precinct 1 County Commissioner Chico Rodriguez expresses serious concerns about the Mission City soccer complex.
So I'm going to tell you, this is one of probably the most embarrassing sites.
Jose Martinez leads the nonprofit that runs the place, and most days he maintains this 40-acre site almost single-handedly. Martinez admits they do run this place on a shoestring, but does that make it horrible, embarrassing, or scary? Let's take a look. There are patches of bare dirt where there should be grass and weeds instead of thick, lush turf. But this is a facility literally dug from the thorny brush country of South Bexar County.
They've had a tough year.
The Bexar County Venues manager says he believes things are improving.
They're pleasant to play on. The kids don't care if there's a little bit of sand showing.
On the plus side, they accommodate every age of player, the fields are mowed, and lights make it possible for players to stay long into the night and avoid the brutal heat. The place is clean, the water's cold.
Modern facilities.
And Martinez brags that unlike some venues, they have nice bathrooms.
Don't worry about going to the porta potty.
Martinez says they could always use more community support. You can find Mission City Soccer on Facebook. Sue Calberg, KENS 5, Eyewitness News.